And we're live. Hello, everybody. Mauricio Garcia here. Once again, excited as always to be able to begin another Conquistador Podcast. Thank you for joining us. You know, every single day I have the opportunity to speak to and learn from my friend, mentor, in business, my partner as well, Mr. Hubert Humphrey, to whom I salute again this morning. How are you, sir?
Doing great. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much for doing this every single day. We have never spoken about the importance of having your partner all in business and supporting your partners in business. I know Norma, your wife, your life partner has been such an important, how do I say, just an important person, a key in your success. And I want to extract as much information, as much value around that concept of building a business in partners. Because there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that maybe sometimes want to keep those things separate. But if I understand correctly, is in order to really achieve some great success, is you've got to have your partner, in whatever it is that you're doing, fully on board.
Well, absolutely, because everybody, all people are different. All situations are not the same, but where practical, where possible, I can assure you that if you don't have to be married to win in business, but if you are married, you'd better have that spouse. You better have them at least engaged in the dreaming aspect of it, at the why. Why are you doing this? They got to be on board with the why, and they need to know you're doing it for the family. You're doing it for them. And then if they know, they can. We talked about strategic thinking the other day.
Yesterday.
And I promise you, some of my most strategic thinking is when Norma straightens me out on my thinking, because she has such a fresh approach about people. She has great instincts about people. I mean, she doesn't even have to know them very well, but she can give me a little thought here, a little comment here, a little thumbs up or thumbs down. If nothing else, it makes me weigh that. It makes me put that into the thinking equation about it. Things I probably would have just bullied on through, I think about. And so it's been very valuable over the years having her thinking. I call her not only my life partner, but my soulmate. She's my best friend, but she's literally a partner in the business, and she's a very vital part of the ownership of what we do too, with trust and so forth, that she's the trustee of, and so she's a major player in what we do, but. And I know a lot of people out there. There's some people in business say, "Listen, I want to keep business separate from my family, protect my family." Now, there may be some businesses that is the thing to do, but even then, you probably need to be counseling with them behind the scenes, at least for some behind the scenes private advice. Who, if you can't go to your spouse, your husband, or your wife, and talk a little bit to who can you go to? Who can you trust more than your spouse in your business? So. But I just know that, and if you don't, sometimes if you're not married, you might have a significant other. But a partner has everything to do. So, some partners are more active than others. I've seen partners come in, they're there in the office, they run the office, they're the business manager. I've seen some of them come in and they get licensed, they become producers, they become trainers, they become, you got a great partner in Lorena. She's had various roles in your career. She's been a licensed person. She knows the system. She knows recruiting. She's helped with meetings. She's done all those things. And as you guys started having children, obviously she's handling the family side of things as well as helping.
She helped me a lot in the background. Yeah.
Oh yeah, behind the scenes, very talented. So different partners have different aptitudes, different significant others. Whatever it is, I just know in life, it's good to have a support group. And it should start hopefully in your home with your spouse or a significant other. That's a source of comfort that you can't. It's great to have. I live off the love of our people in our business. I love our leaders. I love them all. The ones that we've built over the years that are still with other companies that we built in the past, I still love them, care about them, want them to be successful. I care about all these people. All these people are just friends, and I look at them for support, and I love them. But there's something about the comfort you get from a support group of your family, your family, your wife, and your kids. I would even add to the partners in business to be your children, your family. You know, they have at an early age. I was able to start talking to our kids about, hey guys, listen, Daddy's trying to leave the railroad. I'm trying to make more money where I can do more things for you guys. And I'm gonna be gone more, and so they watched and they knew what I was doing. They probably didn't understand it all, but over the years they didn't rebel against it. They didn't feel threatened by it, and Norma did a fabulous job for several years there, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and in the heyday of my explosion and growth over those years when I was gone so much across the country building these teams, she was everything. I mean, she was father, mother, everything to these kids, and did all these things. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that Norma did, it was so just from my type of business and my type of leadership, was priorities. She helped me with priorities. You know, it's like the old saying that Vince Lombardi, the great Green Bay Packer football coach, Hall of Fame coach, he said, you got to have these are your priorities: God, family, and the Green Bay Packers. That was the way they lived there. He lived his life. Well, I've sort of got God, family, and in our business, HDI, our business building system and team. And
yeah, that's your Green Bay Packers.
That's my Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
And so, but each one of those things, all three of those things have necessary things. All three of them are necessary. Have time is necessary. Time has to be put in them. But every so often, the time goes from necessary up to the level of urgent. And urgent means it's got to be done right now, can't be delayed, can't be put off until next year, next week, next month. It's got to be done. And Norma was great at that, making sure that from the family standpoint, I pretty much could tell the business things what was urgent. Or but in our spiritual life and my church responsibilities, and I've always had various things I do in our church where I work. I just like it. I enjoy it. It was a calling I felt I needed to do, and so it took time to do that. So whatever my priorities were, there I could kind of be pretty good with that. She'd help me with that too. But in the family, if I didn't have her as being that barometer, that guide, if you will, I'd have just blown on through and missed some things. For example, let's just say that every meeting I do in my business is important. Every meeting is important. Every call is important. Every interview is important. Every trip's important. And I can sit there and say this is too important for that. And then let's say my children are graduate. Let's say my son's graduating from high school. Well, I can't just say, well, I tell you what, I'll catch him when he graduates again next year. Well, no, he ain't graduating next year.
Right.
This is a one-time thing, and it's on the calendar. She knows that those necessary things in the church and in my business, they're going to be superseded. This becomes the urgent thing in the family, or a baptism, or a marriage, or one of them was direly sick in the hospital and it was critical. I mean, things like that become urgent over there, and something's got to rise to urgent. It supersedes the necessary and the other two. Now, let's just say we're going to have a big convention in our business, which are critical once a year. We've had 25, 30,000 people at these events. That's a critical thing once a year. The whole company's coming. Everybody's spending time, energy, and money. It's a defining event in the company's history. Well, I can't say. I tell you what, got a little league game is very important for my kid. I love to see that soccer game, that little league game, whatever it is. That is a necessary thing, but I'm just going to have to miss that one, and I'll see the next game or next week. But I can't miss this convention, or something. urgent and necessary. Whatever becomes urgent in any one of those three categories has to supersede the necessary in the other three, and you got to have somebody somehow help you stay balanced in that. And she's always done that. You know, some spouses or significant others, there's kind of two kinds of them. They're either thermometers or they're thermostats. Now, a thermometer can't do anything about the surrounding conditions. It can just only read. It can just read the temperature. It can't do anything about it. And by the way, you know where you usually stick a thermometer. That's another story. but a thermostat, what does a thermostat do, Mauricio? A thermostat now not only reads it, but it now can do something about the environment. If it's too hot, it can cool it. It can cool it down. If it's too cold, it can heat it up. And Norma's been a great. Luckily and thankfully, she's been a great thermostat to be able to keep me from losing perspective.
That's great, and I've never really heard it like you just described it. I remember a few years back when you showed me a video of Art, a great speech called "Do It." And he was talking about, and I remember this because it was one of those things that to me it really got me thinking, right? Which was, this is the priority that you need to follow if you want to be successful in life, which is God, family, and business, which is what you described, with the Green Bay Packers, being the business. And so a lot of entrepreneurs, and I probably was a victim of that, in the beginning, I was all just about business. So long range, if anybody who is going in business right now, who is only focusing on the business side of things, what are the dangers of doing that by not understanding the priority between the God, family, and business, and then just focusing fully on business?
Well, you may get away with it for a while, and I'll tell you, there are some times, there's certain times in your business, especially in critical times of starting up, especially if you're trying to go for some really big success business plan you're trying to put in place. Greatness has a lot of demands on you and requires a lot. That sometimes the family, everything has to know that I'm sorry. If we don't get this business done and we don't become successful, our future is going to be hurt.
Absolutely.
So we have just got to go prolonged periods of time where I'm all into the business. That there are going to be times when you have to do some of that, and it's justified. But your family needs to be all in on it, and you better have a good support group around you. There are a lot of people out there say, listen, I'm just not even going to go get married until I go and have a lot of success in my life. Well, some people choose to do that, and they have a right to do that. I just thought those people were missing out on not only a lot of happiness, but they were probably missing out on a lot of potential support and success that would have driven them better in the success that they were pursuing if they'd have had a family earlier. But I'm not here to make that decision for them. I just know that your family's got to buy into this whole thing today, and a lot of the businesses we're building today, they literally could end up a legacy running those businesses and certainly benefiting from the fortunes that will be left behind if we do it right, and as we are doing it right. I've got our plans set up where it's not only for my children, but I've got it set up where it's some generation skipping planning in there. I want grandchildren and great grandchildren to be able to benefit from our success. And so they to some degree all have a little feeling. Even the littlest ones know that daddy or papa or me as a great grandfather, they know a little bit about what's going on in life, to know that they don't even know what it means, but they just know it adds to their quality of life now and possibly in the future. And people and the family will let you know that if you just need to let them know all about it. But there's going to be times when you just got to be all in. It's all hands on deck, and you just got to just got to do what you got to do, especially if things don't go right. You get in a state of emergency, or you got to go and recover from something in your business. It can be a prolonged period of time. Success is a very tough taskmaster. It's not success. Very rarely cares anything about your schedule. It's up to you to take charge of that schedule. And the success doesn't get out there and look at priorities. Success in any one of those three categories, success has success to have success in your faith and your religion and service to others. The success has principles to do, and in your family. Absolutely. To be successful in your family, success is going to demand certain things that you do in your family to have good success. And certainly in your business, success has got a set of rules. So success applies to every phase of your life, and it's a tough taskmaster. If you don't do what success says, you're not going to get the rewards. It just won't give it to you. You can't shortcut it. You may think you can. I found out if you take shortcuts, you're probably going to end up getting cut short.
Well, as they would say, maybe it's just like gravity. There's only one way to escape it. And I don't know if that's the best analogy. But I love this episode. I think it has a very strong message. The importance of getting your partner involved. And I'll finish it by just reading.
Can I add one thing, Mauricio? I hate to interrupt you, but I would hate to not finish this partner section without adding this to the picture.
Go ahead.
In our business, we recognize the partners, whether the partner's real active in the business or not. We put the name of the spouse on with our producer, our leader, our winner, our MVP. And when we get them up on stage, or we put them on a webinar and camera, their pictures up there, or they're up there live, or they're there dressed up in their big, great formal black tie stuff for that night. Mm-hmm. They're up there. So a lot of times the kids are up there, and we go on our great trips. Not only are the spouses there, children go on a lot of our trips to Hawaii and things like that. So a lot of these children out there we got today, in the era today, more than ever before, we have a lot more children involved going on these trips. And guess what? Man, these children write me letters. They just say, I'm trying to get my dad to work harder. I want him to take me back to Hawaii. I love being there swimming with those dolphins. So again, I got to tell you, we recognize them and include them in the recognition of it. If they're just a dream partner, if they're just taking care of the home front, they deserve to have their name up there, and we even have some partners of the year type things. Back in some of our previous companies, we've had organized partners programs. One of the things that Art and Angela Williams, she had a partners program where she took Norma and a few of these big senior partners, and they just sort of had separate meetings at a convention. We'd have a breakout session. There'd be 5,000 partners sitting over in another big hall, getting some extra love and attention, and they got to talk about the common
challenges of having their husband, being an entrepreneur and how to deal with it and all this different kind of things.
Of course, a lot of that now can be done online in chat rooms and things like that. But I'm just telling you, we've heard families, partners that pray together, stay together. Partners that dream together, succeed together. Partners that work hard and sweat together, succeed together. I mean, all those things, it's just something about togetherness. Of all, the first, and I'll leave it with this. When we're out trying to recruit some people in our business, I always tell our people that the first person you got to go re-recruit is your partner, your significant other. You got to go back and re-recruit them every day. Remind them of why you're in this business, what's in it for them, why they're going to love this, why you're doing what you're doing. Have them on board. Don't take them for granted.
And that's why I invite people to go back and listen to the episodes in the podcast where we talk about how to be a good salesperson, how to be able to sell the dream, because you have to sell. You recruit your partner, and that is selling them into what you're doing. I'll wrap it up with a quote from Norma, which says, when two uncommon people when two uncommon people pursue a common dream, it is inevitable that they will achieve uncommon success.
That's right.
And so I also want to remind everybody who is listening to us today that if you're watching this on YouTube, please click that thumbs up and share this to people that are in business, to those driven, determined dreamers that are out there, so that they can get this value. And if you're listening on any of the podcast platforms, also share in social media so that more and more people can find out about the Conquistador Podcast and learn these principles to help them reach higher levels of success. And if you're not yet in the best vehicle that will help you get from where you are now to where you want to go financially and in many other ways, well, that's because you're probably not yet associated here with Hegemon Group International, which is the sponsor of this podcast. I want to invite you today to go check them out. Take a few minutes, go to Hegemon, go to HEIopportunity.com. I repeat, that is HEIopportunity.com. Listen to the whole presentation and you'll see why that is the best business opportunity in America today. So once again, HEIopportunity.com. You can thank me later. Hubert, have an amazing weekend, and I can't wait for next week so we can add even more value to our listeners in this platform.
Yeah, it'll be a great week next week. Look forward to seeing everybody. Take care.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Warning, this podcast may change the way you think about business, entrepreneurship, and money forever. The Conquistador Podcast was created for dreamers, entrepreneurs, and leaders who want to conquer their future. To be an epic entrepreneur, you must adopt the right mental paradigms as well as master the art of selling, marketing, and finance.